Thanks for joining us. Let's begin in the NPP headquarters because Hajia Fati, the NPP activist who slapped Adom FM's reporter Ohima Sichua, has apologized to the multimedia journalist, pressmen and the general public for her actions. Madam Fati has come under heavy media criticism and pressure to apologize to Sichua and journalists in general after admitting on radio she actually slapped and punched the reporter on her mouth for taking pictures of her without seeking permission. A host of media organizations have since been solidarizing with Sichua and the multimedia group to demand an end to the incessant attacks on journalists in the line of duty. Today at the party headquarters, Hajia Fati told journalists she has regretted her actions and pleads for forgiveness.
I'm here today to appeal to all pressmen. I'm on my knees begging you people. I don't have any grudge with any pressman, but what came, it was a mistake. So please, you people should forgive me. I'm on my knees. Please forgive me.
Let's go live to the NPP headquarters and speak with Joy News' Parker Wilson to bring us up to speed on this beat. Parker, what led to this apology?
Okay, so Daniel, I was at the office when Samuel called that he was going to take his forms today. Of course, you know, the National Delegate Conference. So, the media were here waiting for Samuel to come, and eventually he came. Now, after picking his nomination, we heard rumors that Hajia Fati is likely to apologize to pressman because she has regretted the action. So we saw Samuel making his way to Hajia Fati's office. And in less than 1 minute, we saw Samuel and Hajia Fati walking towards the media. So we all positioned our microphones and are waiting to hear what Hajia Fati will tell the media. And just as we heard in her, she says that she regrets her action. She apologized to the media and said she's not a bad person. It was only a mistake that it happened. We should forgive her. In fact, she was actually even trying to go down on her knees as she was saying that she is sorry and that she's begging us to forgive her. And then some members of the NPP, including Samuel, held her up and they said it was okay, it's fine. And then Samuel also spoke up. So that is what we know. This is what led to Hajia Fati apologizing to the media this afternoon.
Is that to suggest that she was coerced into apologizing by Samuel himself?
Well, one cannot tell, Daniel, because days gone by, we all have heard the number of criticisms against the party, and some even calling for sanctions that she should be suspended because Samika, years gone by, also in a way dragged their party's name into a dispute, and as a matter of fact, he was suspended. So why shouldn't Hajia Fati be suspended? So, listening to the party executives, they're all saying that, well, she had a self-introspection and then realized that what she did was not the best, and that the NPP as a political party is friendly to the media, and so she has to come in and apologize. So we cannot tell whether she was coerced into apologizing, or perhaps it was out of solution that she decided to apologize to the media.
Is there any indication, Parker, now that she will be willing to face the multimedia group in court, as her lawyer has been quoted as saying earlier?
Can I hear the question, Daniel?
I am asking if she's still willing to face the multimedia group in court, as her lawyer has said earlier.
Well, we cannot say, but as she has apologized to the media, and of course the law is the law. If the law invites you to come and answer questions in court, of course you have no option than to come. So that's what we know.
Right, and what have party officials been saying after this apology?
Okay, so Tami Oku was the only party official here, and she again reiterated the position of Hajia Fati that she's sorry and it's not going to happen again, and went on ahead to say that even the invisible forces in times past assaulted some journalists, and that if he wins the elections as the national organizer of the governing NPP, he will ensure that in a way he's going to tame his voice not to assault the media. So this is what has been happening here at the party headquarters.
Thank you, Parker Wilson, for that report. Let's deal with some other matters now. And Ghana has recorded more than a 45% rise in new HIV/AIDS infections among young people. The figure is causing worry for health officials who have over the last decade seen a significant decline in transmission of the disease. Government says it is pushing for a more radical approach in a desperate bid to reverse the trend. Charity Bartels reports.
Latest figures show a 21% increase in new infections across all ages. These new infections were recorded between 2010 and 2016. Speaking on behalf of the President at the opening of the 2018 National HIV and AIDS Research Conference, Minister of Aviation Cecilia Abanadapa said the situation calls for a radical approach.
Between 2010 and 2016, new HIV infections have increased by 21% across all ages. The growth of new infections in young people aged between 15 and 24 years was even much higher. Having a rising trend in new infections at a time when many African countries are seeing significant reductions in new infections calls for renewed national commitment to HIV prevention, especially targeting the general population in order to stem the tide.
Government, however, says it is putting measures in place to revamp funds of the AIDS Commission and step up the nationwide campaign. U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson, commended Ghana for being among countries that are working assiduously towards achieving an AIDS-free society by 2030.
For the first time in modern history, we have the opportunity to control a pandemic without a vaccine or a cure. We are laying the groundwork for eliminating HIV. And when we eliminate it, we will enjoy healthier populations and a more secure and prosperous world for us all.
The Ghana AIDS Commission was hopeful with the needed funds, the Commission could achieve its zero infection target by 2030.
We are hoping that corporate Ghana, people in private lives, if ordinary Ghanaians who can afford it, can contribute to a fund, and with the fund we can help the people living with the virus in the terms of providing medication, providing things that prevent the virus being spread like condoms, providing lubricants, and then above all giving the medication on how to prevent the virus affecting you and then how to live positively with the virus. That's why we need the money to do all these things.
The Ghana Network of Persons Living with HIV and AIDS appealed to government to increase their quota of the District Assembly Common Fund. Emmanuel Sukuri is president of the network.
The government has allocated the 0.5 of the District Assembly Common Fund, but yet it is inadequate to enable the AIDS committees to move around the service centers. So we want to appeal to the government to increase from the 0.5 to 2% so that this can enable both the municipal and the district assembly to carry out their services, all to contribute to the national response.
Participants of the 2018 NACON also shared the expectations ahead of the conference.
Prevalence is rising. So at this conference, we want to see more of, how do we call it, more of not just promises, not just talks, but what will be factual, what will ensure that we will have funds to work with. So we want to hold government accountable, not just the government alone, but all duty bearers. So duty bearers, government want to hold them accountable for their promises, and then whatever is in line or whatever is in the pocket or in the coffers for us as ESOs to work with.
It is our hope that Ghana will start doing more. Already we are doing more in the field of HIV, but we are hoping that our leaders will start doing more. One of the key things at this conference is that we've started using artists to start talking about HIV. So at the community village, we will be having artists performing. Everybody can get infected at any time and anywhere. The most important thing is that we have things in place, commodities in place, ALTs, etc., and make sure that we are getting to undetectable stage.
Stakeholders are hopeful that the 4-day event would shed light on the challenges facing persons living with HIV and AIDS, and also outline strategies to achieve the 2030 zero infection target. Charity Emihil Bartels reporting for Joy News.
Now moving on, small and medium enterprises are expectant of government's flagship programs like One District, One Factory to expand. Government's 2016 election manifesto promised a comprehensive national plan for entrepreneurship and innovation to invest in and support businesses and startups. On today's agenda, Kwesi Deborah puts the spotlight on a young man who improvises to provide light for domestic and commercial use.
Osman Haruna of Konongo in the Ashanti region produces electrical light. One of the important components is the battery terminal, which he uses alu-zinc, a metal combination of aluminium and zinc, to generate. The 31-year-old measures everything by sight. A battery serves as guide to make attachments to terminals. 3 years ago, Haruna felt dissatisfied at the duration of batteries in electronic gadgets. He then took to this.
Some people use other products, maybe 3 days, 1 week, the battery will run down. And I sat down and think about it. How can I help my people? If you send the feed to the bob straighter, and if you send the neutral to the switch, the battery will run down. But if you send the feed wire to the switch, and if you send the neutral wire to the bulb wire, inshallah, the battery will get about 1 month.
The rest of the work involves the use of containers commonly used in households, from bathing pails to pepper sauce containers. His clients are the electrical shop owners. On a good day, he makes a fair amount of money.
If a room a day, I can sell about 10 to 15 pieces.
Haruna sometimes encounters problems with patronage.
If you are holding a local product, they say, oh, this one is temporary use.
Last year, he was apprised of government's initiatives such as One District, One Factory. Haruna had been looking forward to these initiatives to give him hairs up in his business.
The government should help me so that I can help others.
Government, in its 2016 post-AGM Private Sector Forum for the Private Enterprise Federation, identified inadequate medium to long-term financing, venture capital funding, and also inadequate credit financing as major problems facing the SMEs. He also pointed out that he's going to redirect the National Investment Bank to start providing financing for the industrial sector.
Key initiatives in the NPP 2016 manifesto include establishing an industrial development fund to finance critical private sector industrial initiatives. Bashir Menu is Ashanti Regional Manager of the National Board for Small-Scale Industries. He urges government to focus on growing small-scale industries as it holds the key to successful One District, One Factory agenda.
What are the indigenous enterprises already in existence? What are the ones that you think, when given the needed support, can be expanded to take on board more hands? That is what we don't have to lose sight of.
Ghana borrowed its SME development from Malaysia, a country classified as a giant in small-scale and entrepreneurial financing. Mr. Manu laments Ghana's economic culture has done little to help innovators.
Sizable portion of the national budget is allocated to SME development. And unlike here, that we normally have to turn down or turn away students who come in to request for funding in order to start their businesses.
Mr. Menu admits small-scale investment comes with high risk, but he believes Ghana will be far better to give it a try.
For one or two reasons, some are not able to survive the harsh terrain we have here in our country. At least if we get about 10% of them sailing through and getting their business go to the next level, it will be a plus.
Osman and many others like him, whose ingenuity begs government support, can't wait to see interventions promised by government materialize. For Joy News, Kwesi Deborah, Live FM, Kumasi.
Some good news now, and 2 Ghanaian students have won gold as the Gisutech Robotics and Technology Competition in Uganda for coming out with an irrigation project that predicts the quantity of water and moisture a crop needs to grow and actually supplies this automatically. The 2, who are high school students of the Galaxy International School, say they believe that their intervention or their invention can solve the irrigation challenges that have bedeviled the agric sector. There's more in this report.
Imagine that farmers across the country having an irrigation system that is able to predict how much water plants need and then supplies it the right amount of water needed for its nurturing. Yes, you heard right. 2 high school students of the Galaxy International School have done this.
I had a friend who wakes up every day to water her plants. And me and my friend's passion was to solve problem about an irrigation system.
10-year-old Rewan Ibrahim came up with this brilliant idea after seeing how her friend was always watering her plants at home.
Yeah, my friend actually, she told me that she wakes up, let's say 5 in the morning and waters her plants and crops, but she was in a tight position. So I came up, I got this idea and I presented it to the school. They thought it was a good idea. And Disa here was kind enough to join our project.
10-year-old Disa Jaris Bignadi, after failing several times to build a robot, decided to put his mind to this project, and it worked.
I saw people when I go home or I go outside, I've seen people wasting water. So I was just, I thought about decreasing water waste, but I couldn't find anything to think of. So when she announced it, I was happy because she could find something that I could help.
Their physics teacher, Sedat Akdogan, explains how this irrigation plant operates.
So we have 3 sensors, which means we have divided our field into 3 parts. So we're measuring moisture level of part individually every second. So let's say only 1 part needs water now. So Arduino gets data from first one. So we'll just turn first relay on. Okay. So first water pump only. And only that first part will be filled, will be watered.
Oh.
Okay. So once 1 part needs water, you don't want the whole field. It also will be wasting of water, but we don't do this. What's only 1 part is also saving water and energy. And we figured out that with automated system, we save about 60% of water.
It was for this reason that the 2 were awarded 2 gold medals in the just-ended Gisutech Robotics and Technological Innovation ahead of 60 participants from 7 African countries. The project presented showcased the value, economic impact and contribution of teaching STEM subjects in advancing the 21st century scientific and technological innovations.
Actually, I was very, very happy, and I was out of this world.
I was really a little bit scared and a little bit excited at the same time.
Galaxy International School has in all won 14 gold, 21 silver, 26 bronze and 9 honorable mentions from international competitions. But what could be the secret behind all these successes?
So here we perform experiments all the time, and then we do projects, right? But the problem is with WASI, syllabus is too much. So every week we have to catch up with syllabus. So we don't really have time to do some experiments or perform experiments or do some other, related but not like extracurriculum activities. We don't really have time for that. But with IG, we have time to do everything. So mostly like these projects that we do is mostly with IG students, not with WASI. Unfortunately, they don't have time. And then every day from 8 to 4, they are full.
They are encouraging other students not to give up on their dreams.
Definitely an encouraging story from Galaxy International School there. You're still watching Joy News today. Let's move and deal with other stories because a tanker has fallen on its side, blocking traffic from Achimota heading towards the N1 highway. We'll be bringing you more details of this story after this. Thanks for staying with us. Now, many teenage girls at Odumase in the Obuasi municipality of the Ashanti region are either nursing or expectant mothers. This means they have to drop out of school at the expense of building a future for themselves and the children they are giving birth to. Parents, unfortunately, appear helpless as men lure the girls into sex for money. The situation is worrying for the parents and other community members. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
17-year-old Joyce Boydu has strange explanation to her 8-month pregnancy.
My parents don't take care of me.
Joyce cannot remember how many times she had sex with a man. She, however, says she did it in order to get money for upkeep.
My father does not give me money anymore, and my mother too can't afford. That is why I decided to go in for a boyfriend.
Many of teenagers in the community are said to be sexually active. Some have at least a child by the time they turn 18. They hardly can go back to school.
Why are you pregnant?
Money is hard to come by, and education isn't that easy. That's why I went in for a boyfriend who gave me money to continue my education, and I ended up becoming pregnant. He gave me 5 cedis every day.
You did?
That was 22-year-old Cecilia Ochri, who is also 8 months pregnant. She is among many girls who claim their parents cannot provide their needs.
It's because of food and money. That's why.
How much money are you talking about?
It's not every day that your mother will get money or your father will get money for you to buy something like panties and clothes. You must get your own and buy. That's why.
So that was why you gave yourself out to him?
Okay, yes.
So how is the mood now? How do you feel? You are now pregnant. How old is your pregnancy? How do you feel?
8 months. I'm 8 months. And I feel something pains in my body.
8 months?
Yes.
Have you regretted?
No.
34-year-old Kofi Owusu is married.
Sometimes we just roam about, we see the girls, then we count them, then we take them out. And we don't expect that pregnancy will come, but due to unprotecting and then it comes. So it's not our problem for us to, we haven't decided to pregnate them, but due to we are sitting down, we don't have anything to do. We are not doing anything.
But if you are not doing anything, does it mean that you should go after somebody's daughter?
Oh, we did not plan to go and just pregnant them, but due to maybe even for me to buy condom to protect myself, I can't get money to do that. Or for me to buy any contraceptive for the lady to use because I don't have enough money on me, I can't provide. So it's a feeling.
Even girls below the ages of 15 are pregnant here, and the situation boils down to poverty and broken homes. This has raised many concerns among leadership.
Queen Mother of Odumase, Nana Kwatema Ademu II, is disgusted about a situation she says is getting out of hand.
It hurts so much to see these teenagers getting pregnant. Some are 14 years, 15 and 16 years.
With sexual interaction happening even before girls turn 15, the number of unwanted pregnancy is on the rise. It is a time parents matter most to their female children, teach them about sex and sexuality to protect them against promiscuity. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.
Now, a tanker has fallen on its side, blocking traffic from Achimota heading towards the N1 highway. The tanker, believed to be carrying a soap manufacturing oil, got involved in an accident early this morning and it spilled its content on the road. Personnel from the fire service, police and the Road Safety Commission were at the scene to salvage the situation. Here's the commander at the Tesano police station, DSP Awaje.
At Abeka Junction, where we had information that we need to mobilize ourselves and come to the scene. Obviously, what we can do is that this car from Kedi towards Tema, in the process of turning to Tema, the car gets speed off. So you can see it carries a lot of that used to manufacture soup. It's an oil. So far, the driver, nobody sustained any injury. The mate and then the driver, they are all safe. So the police, we are also doing our best to protect the life of the others and to ensure that it's safe for traffic.
So watching Joy News today, let's move on. And an official of the National Disaster Management Organization, Mr. Tete Sadiq, was also at the accident scene.
The only thing I can say is that we have realized that most of the time, the road signs, you see, the road signs, most drivers don't observe the road signs. So, we are from the West Municipal Assembly. So we will say to that, we are going to write reports to see how best we can assist in that way.
Let's move away from that particular incident and let's talk about something that everyone loves. And with as low as an amount of 2 Ghana cedis, you can afford and keep the doctor away. Coconuts, having become the latest to achieve superfood status, are being patronized in their hundreds, leaving tons of waste in their wake. Now, city authorities are struggling to deal with this waste, but one man is helping deal with the waste crisis by using coconut waste to make fertilizer and other artifacts. Komla Adom has more.
Coconuts, thirst quenching and filling. Well, according to experts, coconut water and their fresh, fleshy food have several health benefits. Good source of several nutrients, has antioxidant purposes, helps prevent kidney stones, and reduces blood pressure, among others. The white fleshy food, be it juicy, tender, or slightly thick, also has several benefits. Rich in fiber, contains healthy fats, protects against heart disease and stroke, and fights abdominal weight gain. But along with all the health benefits and the boom in consumption comes a waste crisis. Coconut husks have littered many parts of the capital, choked drains which may lead to flooding in these areas. But one man is in his own small way using coconut waste to manufacture organic fertilizers and artifacts. Meet Achilles Ali, CEO of Ecofiber Agro Systems, determined to help deal with the waste situation. I'm sure you're wondering what happens to all these husks. Well, until the breakdown of the only truck that conveys these from here to Katamanso constituency at Tema, Ecofiber Agro Systems made use of these husks, and for what exactly?
We process waste coconut into organic growing media, that is artificial soil for greenhouses and also for even open field planting. The benefits are that this artificial soil is devoid of soil-borne diseases like nematodes and others that many farmers face, which makes farming difficult. This is more or less like a high-tech way of farming, which is easier to manage because of its high water retention capacity. Then also because of the looseness, it also allows aeration, which means the plants are able to access oxygen, and the roots are able to also form well, which gives a robust plant and therefore leading to better growth.
It's an innovation he imported from his long stay in Europe as an engineer. And here farmers in the country can benefit and improve crop yield. Not only peasant farmers are benefiting from the use of a plant media made from coconut waste, but the capacity of a company to sustain production is what's a worry to managers.
We haven't really been able to get any loan from the banks, even though we've been chasing them up and down with all kinds of business plans. We couldn't really raise money. We tried buying even a truck, and because we could not sustain the market, we were not able even to pay for the truck, which was taken back by the company. We've even had lots of court cases. We are running up and down because we are not sustainable enough to be able to feed companies that require our product, even though we have more than abundant raw material.
Apart from fertilizers and organic planting media, the coconut husks are used for other artifacts, and Ecosystems is harnessing the potential of the crop to boost the artifact industry.
We even intend going into other products, like products like this, which is for the ceiling panels and then the building and construction industry. We also have the fiber, which we process into mats. We further press them into boards, and we are soon going to start pressing them into various containers for fruit carriers, egg carriers, and also components for the automobile industry.
Here's how it happens.
First, we look for the raw material, which is brought into our premises. Whether dry or wet, we can still use them. They go through the defibrine process. That's a machine that does the separation. The dust, which is the pit, which is finally the growing medium, is extracted and comes down. And then the fiber is thrown on the other side of the machine, which is the loose hair-like products, and which is also further used for other products. But more or less, pit is then sieved and then goes through other processes like this.
You're still watching Joy News today. I am Daniel Daze. Stand by for business.